ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। आप सभी का स्वागत है।
We welcome all of you
पाठ में
to this class on Śrīmad-Bhāgavad Gita.
गीता के द्वितीय अध्याय का 55
We are studying second chapter, verse 55 onwards.
अर्जुन ने प्रश्न पूछा था।
In the previous verse, Arjun had asked about Sthita Pragya,
प्रज्ञ है
that one who is Sthita Pragya,
समता को प्राप्त हो गई है,
one whose buddhi, whose intelligence is stable, what are his symptoms?
क्या व्याख्या है, कैसे उसको जाना जाता है,
How to recognize that person, how to analyze that person,
व्यवहार करता है समाज में,
how does he behave in the society,
अपने आप में रहता है तो किस प्रकार से,
and when he is alone with
उसकी मानसिक स्थिति क्या होती है,
what is his state of mind.
उन्होंने प्रश्न किया था
Regarding that,
का भाषा
Arjun had asked.
समाधिस्थस्य केशव तदधि किम प्रभाषेत किम आसीत व्रजेत किम। तो भगवान उनके इस प्रश्नों का उत्तर दे रहे हैं। तो जो पहला प्रश्न था स्थित प्रज्ञ की परिभाषा क्या है, भाषा माने परिभाषा, उसका लक्षण क्या
So
है,
Bhagavan is answering his first question
प्रकार से पहचाना
about
जा
Sthita
सकता है।
Pragya, how to recognize that
उसका
person.
उत्तर ये इस 55वें श्लोक में
So the
दे रहे हैं।
55th verse is answering that
तीन
question.
प्रश्नों का उत्तर फिर अंत तक द्वितीय अध्याय
And till the end of the second chapter, he will answer the remaining three
श्लोक में कहते
questions.
हैं, श्री
So
भगवान
in this verse he says,
प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थ मनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते। श्री भगवान ने कहा, हे
translation,
पार्थ,
Shri Bhagavan said, O Partha, when a person completely casts away all the cravings of the mind and is satisfied in the self alone by the virtue of the self's intrinsic joy, then he is said to be of steady wisdom.
यहाँ उन्होंने स्थिर बुद्धि
So here
व्यक्ति की परिभाषा दी है, उसका लक्षण
he is
बताया।
giving definition of a person of stable intelligence symptom, and this is not just for recognizing others, if others are of stable intelligence or no. First of all, we have to know ourselves,
सोचते हैं कि दूसरों को पहचान,
because mostly we try to recognize ourselves,
हमें ये देखना
but first of all we have to see
ऐसा है नहीं,
whether I am like this or no,
दूसरा है या नहीं है,
because
इसका क्या प्रयोजन होने वाला है।
whether other person is of stable intelligence or no, how does it matter to me?
महत्वपूर्ण
That is why it is very important to understand this verse for those who are on the spiritual path.
तो इस सबसे पहले वो कहते हैं
So
कि
first of all he says,
की कामनाएं छूट गई हैं या छोड़ दी गई हैं,
one who has
सर्वान काम
cast away completely all the cravings,
का एक विशेषण दिया है मनोगतान,
and he has used the adjective managatan,
कि ये कामना कहाँ
of the mind. Where do these desires reside?
अधिकरण क्या है, इनका निवास स्थान कहाँ है,
Where do they stay?
इनका कौन सा कमरा है,
In which room do they stay? In which room does desire stays? So Bhagavan is telling, this is managatan,
में गई हुई,
means which has gone in the mind.
चलता है कि ये हमारा
So with this we understand that these desires are not our swarupa, they are not in the Atma.
अगर आत्मा में हो
So that is a good news,
नहीं जा सकता,
because if they would have been in the Atma, it would not have been possible to discard them, because we cannot discard what is in our swarupa.
ये समझना होगा कि आत्मा जो
So we have to understand
भावना जो है वो
that
आत्मा में नहीं है।
desires do not stay in the Atma, they are not the
मैं ऐसा बोल
property of the Atma. In Nyaya Darshan it is said that they are in the Atma, but here in the Vedanta, in Gita, in Bhagavat, it is said that these desires are in the mind, they come and go in the mind. They are also not permanently in the mind.
इसको धारण किया जाए, जो रखा जाए, जैसे
Dharma means what holds. What does dharan? Like if you have water in a glass, so it is the dharma of the glass to hold the water.
उसी में रहती है, वो उसका धर्म कहलाता है।
Dharma has many meanings.
तो अगर आप कमरे में बैठे हुए हैं,
So if you are situated in the room, then you are the dharma of the room,
धारण कर रहा है,
because the room is holding you.
की जाती है,
Dharma is that which upholds.
जिससे धारण होता है वो भी धर्म होता है, वो अलग व्याख्या है। तो धारणा धर्म इत्याहु, वो अलग व्याख्या है। तो ये मन के धर्म है, तो इसका कहने का
So this is the dharma of the mind, the property of the mind. So it is not that they are holding the mind, they stay in the mind. That is why they are known as manodharma.
देता है,
So one who discards them,
मतलब ये आती हैं और जाती हैं,
it means they come and go, so you do not have to hold on to them.
उसको पकड़ो मत,
Discarding them means do not hold on to them.
उसको पकड़ के बैठ जाते हैं,
Because when desires come, we hold on to them.
दोगे नहीं, कैसे छोड़
The desires are telling, please leave us. So we say, no, how can we give you up? You are our life. We cannot live without you, the material desires. So we fall in love with our desires and we spend our whole life fulfilling them, because we cannot live without our beloved. We want to be with them, we want to sit with them, we want to deal with them. Similarly, the desires have become our beloved. We love them. Their desires do not tell us anything. We only hold on to them. If some desire has come in the mind, then that desire will go away also. But if we hold on to that, it won't go away. Similarly, when just like desires come, they go also. They can be discarded. Bhagavan has told that anything that is born dies also.
तो ये कामनाएं जो है ये मन में ही पैदा होती हैं.
These desires, they are born in the mind only. That's why they are known as Manoj or Manasaj. They are born in the mind.
तो आप कोई वस्तु देखते हैं.
Like if you see any object.
अभी आजकल आम की ऋतु है.
Like it is the season of mangoes. So if you see mango and you like the taste of mango, so on seeing the mango, you get the desire that I want to eat this mango. So the desire was not existing earlier. The desire arose by seeing the mango. Bhagavan tells in Gita that when we have Sangha with any sense object, then we get desire for that object. So we have to give up that desire, because desire is what controls the intelligence. Because that was the question, that what is the symptom of a person of stable intelligence? So desire is the driver of intelligence. We get so many desires in our mind, we do not act upon all the desires. We go to market, we have desires for buying many things, but we do not have money in the pocket, or the price of the object is beyond our budget, so we do not purchase that. So the person takes this decision by his intelligence. So you have to understand the whole process properly, that first of all we contact sense objects with our senses, then desire arises, and when desire arises, then we take a decision by our intelligence whether I should fulfill this desire or no. And when we take decision to fulfill that desire, then we make plans to fulfill that desire. Then we work for fulfilling that desire. Then the desire may be fulfilled or may remain unfulfilled, because Bhagavan has told already that your adhikar, your independence is in performing karma. You do not have independence to decide the result of the karma. The result may be favorable or unfavorable. You may even not get the result. You may get partial result. A lot of varieties are there in getting result. That is why Bhagavan says that discard these material desires. Discarding them means not having attachment for them, because there are some desires which are necessary. Although here Bhagavan is telling that Sarvan Kaman, give away all desires, all cravings. So if Bhagavan would not have told Sarvan, means all desires. So if you have 50 desires in the mind and you give away 25, so many other desires, they remain. That's why Bhagavan is telling Sarvan Kaman. If we have one desire also, then it will control our intelligence, it will disturb us. But there are some desires which are necessary, like if you are hungry, then you will have desire for eating food. But if you say that no, I will not desire food, because Bhagavan has told, give away all the desires, then you will die out of hunger. If you are feeling sleepy, then your desire will be to sleep. Maybe you can still control the desire for food, but how can you give away the desire for sleeping? So the desires which are necessary for maintaining our life, we need them, but we should not be attached to those desires also. In the next verse, Bhagavan will explain that. Because actually, desires are not bad. What is bad is attachment to those desires. So first of all, we have to see my desires are beneficial for me or no.
मेरे उद्देश्य के प्रति मेरे को ले जाएगी या उसके विरुद्ध में ले जाएगी.
They will help me in achieving my destination or they will take me away from my destination. Whatever actions we perform them to obtain happiness. So we need to check what will be the result of fulfilling these desires. Will it be happiness or misery? Because there are many actions which when performed, they give happiness, but the result is misery. So we should not perform such actions. There are actions which when we perform them, we feel miserable, but later they give positive result. So we should perform those actions. And there are some actions which are miserable while performing also, and their result is also misery. But people perform such actions also. And there are some actions which while performing also give happiness, and their result is also happiness. So this is the best. So there are 4 possibilities that when what you are performing, that is also happiness and its result is also happiness. Or if the action is giving happiness but result is misery, which is rajasic. Or if the action is giving misery but result is happiness. And the 4th category is the action is also miserable and its result is also misery. That is tamasic. And people do those actions also. So it is the job of intelligence to check all this. That's why Bhagavan is telling that whatever is miserable should be given up.
तो प्रजाहति का मतलब है कि उसको पूर्ण रूप से छोड़ना.
So prajahati means to give away completely, because jahati means to give away, to cast away, and prajahati means completely given away. So these desires are spread all around us. Just like there is shabda in the akasha, like we are sitting here, many people are talking on telephone or they are watching television. So whatever they are hearing, those waves or whatever it is in the akash only. But because they are connected to the phone number or connected to the TV channel, they can catch hold of those waves. But we are not connected, so we cannot hold on to them. But whatever, all the whole atmosphere is filled with thousands of types of these shabdas, waves. So many people are talking on phone. So like this, we also get lot of desires in the mind. Although modern science says that we get 60,000 desires in the mind. So we get so many desires, but we do not hold on to all of them. If you think carefully, in a minute we get hundreds of desires, at least more than 10. We do not hold on to all of them, but we hold on to some of them. So prajahati means not to hold on to them, because desires keep coming. In the next second, what desire will be there in the mind, we do not know. So desires arise by seeing the objects also, or when you are sleeping, you are not in contact with external objects, but whatever samskaras are there in your chitta, you get desires due to those samskaras also. So giving away those desires, that is what prajahati means. So mind has various vrittis. To give away those vrittis, to do nirod of those vrittis is prajahati. There are 5 types of vrittis. To do nirod of those vrittis, that is meant in this verse.
फिर वो कहते हैं कि आत्मन्येव आत्मना तुष्टः, के अपने आप.
Then he says to remain self-satisfied, to be satisfied in the self alone, that is the symptom of a person of stable intelligence. One symptom is that person does not have attachments to material subjects, to material topics, material objects. And the second symptom is he is self-satisfied.
तो प्राय करके देखा जाता
So
है
mostly it is seen
कोई भी
in the
अपने आप में
society,
संतुष्ट नहीं
nobody is satisfied with himself or herself.
असंतोष रहता है
Always there is a feeling of dissatisfaction in the mind,
हम इधर
lack of fulfillment. And that is why we keep running around here and there. It means whichever room I am staying in, I do not like to stay there.
अपने आप में ही रहना
What this verse means is to be satisfied in the self alone, to live in the self alone.
आध्यात्मिक
So what happens is that we are not satisfied in the self alone. So in the spiritual path, it is okay that whatever situation you are in, you want to progress from that. But from the material point of view, we remain in that. We do not like to progress spiritually. And if somebody has something more than us, then we become envious of that person.
कंपटीशन हो जाता है
Then we start competing against that person.
फिर हमारी बुद्धि चलती रहेगी
We have to move ahead of that person. So then our intelligence will
कंपटीशन में
keep wavering. It will not be stable because we start competing against others, forgetting our own goal.
जो है
That is why any person,
प्रायोगिक दृष्टि से तो कोई भी व्यक्ति
even if we see from the practical point of view, nobody likes to stay alone nowadays. Why? Because that nobody is satisfied with himself or herself. That's why we always search for somebody to talk with us, to gossip,
क्यों है क्योंकि
or we contact people on Facebook.
ये कहता
So why does this happen? Because we are not satisfied with ourselves.
बाहर के विषयों में हम संतोष देखते हैं
So we search for satisfaction in external objects, but they do not have satisfaction. We try to find happiness in external sense objects.
आगे इस अध्याय में भी करेंगे और आगे
Bhagavan will
करेंगे
speak of this subject in this chapter also and in later chapters also. He says that these external objects, they do not have any happiness, but we keep running after them.
तो थोड़ी देर उसमें
Even if we get them,
उसके बाद में फिर
for some time we feel peace temporarily, but then again there is something else which disturbs our peace of mind.
संतोष नहीं
So in this way our life
इसलिए हमें
passes away in feeling of dissatisfaction.
को कहो कि आप कमरे में
That's why loneliness is very miserable to people.
आ जाएंगे तो क्या करेंगे
So if you tell somebody sit there and do dhyan, people say, will come, if I come to Vrindavan, what will I do?
करना है यहाँ तो सब बहुत व्यवधान होता है
They say we have to do bhakti bhajan, but here
हम कैसे करें
there is so much disturbance. So I say, okay, you come to Vrindavan, but then when they come here, then they say, no, what will I do here?
तो आप उसको भी छोड़ना नहीं चाहते हो यहाँ भी नहीं
So you do not want to give that up also.
विदेश
You want this also, you don't want that also. People say, how can I do bhakti staying in foreign country? But if you stay here, then also you don't like to do because you feel lonely.
कोई आपको डिस्टर्ब करने वाला आएगा नहीं वहाँ पे अपने घर
In fact, if you are doing bhakti there,
कौन आ रहा है
there is nobody to disturb you.
बस समय नहीं है यहाँ
You
आए जाते हैं
nobody has time to disturb you. But here, people have a lot of free time also.
चाहते हैं तो यहाँ
So that's why people do not like to stay here also. They say there is nothing here.
there is no social life in Jiva
Many people accuse us saying that there is no social life in our institute.
ढूंढने के लिए आए हो क्या आप
Now you have come here to search for social life or to become a sthita pragya, a man of stable intelligence.
अपने आप में संतुष्ट नहीं है
So the problem is a person is not satisfied in himself or herself. Now he has heard this, that this should be done, but he doesn't have faith in this. That's why when he comes here, becomes bored.
क्लास अटेंड करो और अपना भजन करो
If you tell him, no, okay, you don't have to do any seva, just attend class and do your bhajan, still you feel dissatisfied.
फिर मुश्किल हो जाता है
Then you feel like running away from here.
जो आदमी अपने में असंतुष्ट है
So the person who is not satisfied in himself, wherever he goes, he will remain dissatisfied only.
अगर कहीं जाएगा और वहां उसको संतोष मिलता है तो वो थोड़ी देर के लिए
If the person goes there and gets some satisfaction, it is just temporary. Like if you are hungry,
से भूख लगी हुई है तो आप यहाँ से छोड़ के कहीं और चले
if you
जाओ
have feeling extremely hungry, if you go to another place, will your hunger go away automatically? No, you will have the feeling of hunger there also. But if you have a different environment there, you are seeing something for the first time, so then your mind gets divided temporarily and you feel that now, you think that now I'm not feeling hungry. But after seeing all those things, after some time again you start feeling hunger. Like people go for some vacation to some resort or some other place, then they roam around. But the people who stay there, they are just normal, like we are here in our place. We like to go there, those people like to come here. And if you start staying there permanently to the resort where you went, then after some time you will again feeling the way you were feeling earlier in your previous place, because whatever new things you had to see, you have seen that. So now the hunger that was disturbing you earlier, now again you get afflicted with that hunger. You went to resort, but after some time again that hunger will disturb you. So you will always remain hungry only. That is why if you are not satisfied with yourself, then you can go wherever you like, whichever person you stay with that person. You marry this person, you say this is not right. You marry that person, say this is not right. You say this is girlfriend, this is boyfriend. Then yet there is was breakup. If two dissatisfied people stay together, can they generate satisfaction? If both are dissatisfied, if both are hungry, if two beggars come together, by staying together, will they become rich?
तो यहाँ ये जो आत्मनियेव आत्मना तुष्ट है, तुष्ट माने
So here when Bhagavan is talking of tushta, means that person is santushta, is satisfied. He is not poor, he is not a beggar, he is not hungry. Wherever that person will go, that person will remain self-satisfied. So that person's intelligence will remain stable or no. But if you have lot of hunger and I tell you sit and do japa, so there's a saying which means that we cannot do bhajan with a hungry stomach. So if you are hungry, your mind will go towards your stomach, not to the japa. So when mind is disturbed, we cannot be satisfied.
सब धन धूरी समान, तो गज धन, भारी धन, अलग अलग प्रकार के धन है.
There are different types of wealth.
संतोष रूपी धन हमको मिलता
But when we get the wealth of satisfaction, then all the other wealth becomes useless.
तभी होती है.
So this stability of intelligence is obtained only when our mind is free of desires.
जब तक उसमें कामनाएं रहती हैं,
As long as it has desires,
बुद्धि जो है वो फिर विचलित रहती है.
the intelligence will remain disturbed.
लक्षण बताया.
So that's why here Bhagavan has told one symptom of the Sthita Pragya, the man of steady intelligence.
कामनाएं जितनी मर्जी भी पूरी हो जाएं,
And no matter how much you satisfy your desires, they do not have any end. In Bhagavatam, there is a verse.
उपभोगेन साम्यति. सो हविषा कृष्ण व्रत में पुनरेव अभिवर्धते. कि आप कामनाओं को वो कहते हैं, कामना जो है वो अग्नि की तरह है.
So that verse says that desires are like fire. Like if you put wood in fire, then the fire will not get exhausted. So similarly, you fulfill one desire, then next one will arise.
ऐसा तो है नहीं कि आपकी एक ही कामना है.
It's not that you have only one desire. You may have a primary desire at a point of time, that I have to marry, or I want a job, or I have to go to some foreign country. We need the visa. So that keeps going around in your mind. So you get a sense object, you do not feel satisfied. Again, you go to another place. Then you have to search for the job there. So whatever you have to do, you do. The desires will keep disturbing you. Now you want home, you want partner, you want so many things. So one after the other, it continues. Like if you it's like putting wood in the fire. It will keep burning. So if you put lot of wood in the fire, for some time you will feel that fire has been extinguished. But that is not the case. It is burning the wood and it will continue burning. So there is a story of King Yayati and his wife Devyani in Bhagavatam. The wife was daughter of Shukracharya,
और शुक्राचार्य की जो लड़की देवयानी थी उसके एक
and
सखी
Shukracharya's daughter Devyani had a friend Sarmishtha.
देवताओं के गुरु नहीं दैत्यों के गुरु हैं ये जो दैत्य
Shukracharya was the guru of the Daityas.
तो वास्तव में तो वो दोनों सखियां थी शर्मिष्ठा और
So
देवयानी
actually Sharmishtha and Devyani were friends,
में कुछ कलह
but
हो गया था
some problem happened between both of them related to some
तो फिर
clothes.
वो शर्मिष्ठा ने देवयानी
And
का
then
अपमान किया
Sharmishtha insulted Devyani. So Devyani was also not an ordinary woman. She was daughter of
शब्द बोले
the guru.
देवयानी ने जाकर
So
पिताजी को
both of them insulted each other. So Devyani went to her father.
उनको क्षमा प्रार्थी होकर हुआ तो देवयानी ने कहा कि
So he was guru. So the king apologized to him. So Devyani said that she has insulted me. So wherever she stays after marriage, she has to remain my maid servant.
छोड़ के चले जाएंगे
So the king had to agree. The king had to agree. Otherwise, Shukracharya would have left him, and then they would be destroyed.
हुआ देवयानी से तो शर्मिष्ठा उसकी दासी बन के
So when Devyani was married to Yayati, then
तो महल में रहती थी और
she was living in the palace, and Sharmishtha was like the maid servant.
युवा थी
But she was also young. She was also beautiful.
तो राजा ने उसके साथ भी संबंध बनाया और उसके भी पुत्र
So
हुए
the king made relation with her also and begot children from her also. And when Devyani got to know about this, she became very angry because she had told her husband not to make relation with this Sharmishta. So she was of angry nature, and out of anger she went to her father and she complained to Shukracharya that, see, I had told him, but he has begot children from Sarmishta. So like this, problems happen between women. Although there was no loss for Devyani, but it was a blow to her ego. She could not tolerate this.
तो अब पीछे पीछे राजा भी गया राजा बहुत
So then behind her, king also went. The king Yati was very much attached to Devyani, and Shukracharya, out of anger, cursed the king that you become old. Because of your youth only, you have done all this. So if you become old,
तो तुरंत
you will learn the lesson. So immediately he became old.
याति ने देखा कि उसकी तो
Then Yayati saw
दांत गिर गए
that his teeth have fallen.
झुर्रियां आ गई और प्लास्टिक सर्जरी होती नहीं थी
There are wrinkles on the face, and that time there was no plastic surgery. So now what can he do?
भोग करने की
But he had lot of desires within
तो
for sense
आपके मन में
enjoyment.
बहुत बढ़िया भोजन करने की
So if you have this deep desire
आपका पेट
to eat lot of
डॉक्टर ने मना किया
luxurious food, but doctor has forbidden you
आपको भोजन
from eating all that, then it becomes a big trouble for you when you see luxurious food.
भी भोग नहीं कर सकता बूढ़ा
So then Yayati was thinking that now I cannot enjoy my senses. I am old. What can I do?
जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि तो उसने प्रार्थना की उनसे
So then
शुक्राचार्य से कि
he prayed to Shukracharya
कीजिए
that please don't do like this with me.
आपकी लड़की का पति हूँ
I am your son-in-law. If you make me old, then it will be a problem for your daughter also. Your daughter is young and your son-in-law is old. So then Shukracharya thought that yeah, he is right, because this curse is going to affect my own daughter also. Then he said, okay, because when a person becomes angry, then he speaks all kinds of nonsense.
एक लड़के से
So then he said that you exchange your old age for youth with one of your sons. This is what I can do for you, because I cannot take my curse back, but I can make this kind of concession or relaxation for you.
लड़के थे दो देवयानी
So he had 5 sons, 2 from Devyani, 3 from Sarmishta. He asked all of them one by one that please give me your youth and take my old age.
उन्होंने कहा वाह पिताजी
So they said that, yeah, wow, father, you are telling something great to us.
इतना भोग भोग चुके हो
You enjoyed your senses so much, and now that you have become old
और अभी से बूढ़े
and we are young, and you are telling us to become old now itself.
लेकिन उनमें से जो एक है वो मान गया
But one of those sons, he agreed, Guru.
तो उसने उनका बूढ़ापा ले लिया
So he took the old age of the father
युवा हो
and gave his youth.
तथा लब्ध धने विनष्ट
So when Yayati again became young,
बहुत बड़ा धन मिल जाए
It's like earlier, if you got lot of wealth and it got destroyed, then you become too much anxious. But again, if you get it back, then this time you hold it properly. So then Yayati thought that I got youth with so much difficulty. So this time I will enjoy to the maximum extent possible. It said that for 1,000 years he did extreme level of sense enjoyment, but still he was dharmic. He was religious. It is not that he performed sinful type of sense enjoyment. But then some at a point of time he came back to his senses because he was also learned, and he thought that these desires have no end. They actually never become fulfilled completely. We never become fully satisfied. These desires are not going away. So he told one excellent verse that time, which means that all the various means of enjoyment on earth that we have, whatever we have, they are not sufficient to satisfy even one person. The whole property of the earth is not sufficient to satisfy even one person.
न द्रुह्यन्ति मन प्रीति पुंसा काम हतस्यते, यानी कि जो काम हत है,
It means one who is afflicted by karma, one who is dying out of karma, or one who is filled with karma. No matter whatever you give to that person, he or she will never be satisfied. So he narrated this out of his own experience. Then he took to the path of renunciation. He gave his young age back to Puru and he took his old age back. And then he retired voluntarily. Like now we have voluntary retirement schemes, VRS.
तो वॉलंटरी रिटायरमेंट स्कीम पर चले गए.
So he took the voluntary retirement scheme. He accepted Vanaprastha.
वानप्रस्थ स्कीम VPS है, ये VRS. तो उससे हमें शिक्षा लेनी चाहिए.
So from this we learn, or we should rather learn that how these desires, they control our life and they destabilize our intelligence. They disturb us.
जो अव्यवसायी हैं, जिनका
Bhagavan told this also, that those who are avyavasai, those who are not fixed up on the spiritual path,
अनेक उनकी कामनाएं,
they have lots of desires in the material world.
वो कभी स्थिर नहीं रहते.
One after the other, they become afflicted by desires and they never become stable or fixed up. Their intelligence
प्राप्त नहीं होती है,
never achieves samadhi, which means that it never becomes stable.
क्यों? भोग ऐश्वर्य प्रसक्ता नाम तया परित चेतसा. भोग और
So why does this happen? Because they are attached to bhoga and aishwarya.
उसी में चलती
That is why their intelligence keeps wandering in bhoga and aishwarya itself.
बताया.
So these are the symptoms of sthita pragya that Bhagavan explained. Then the next question that Arjun had asked, how does he speak? How does he walk? So the point is that the person of stable intelligence is also living in society. So as long as he is living in society, he will also encounter various problems. So what do problems mean? Basically, they mean misery. So everyone encounters sukha and dukkha. Like the wheel of the car, the upper part comes down, the lower part goes up, it just goes round. So similarly, sukha and dukkha, they also keep coming and going in cycle, like a wheel. So what is the situation of that sthita pragya person? In how does he react to all these different situations? So Bhagavan is explaining in the next verse.
सुखे सुविगत स्पृहः वीतराग भय क्रोध स्थित धीर मुनि रुच्यते. जिसका मन
Translation: one whose mind remains undisturbed in the midst of sorrows, one who does not hanker for happiness after happiness, and who is free of material attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of stable wisdom. So in the previous verse and in this verse, Bhagavan has told 7 things, 7 points which disturb our intelligence. In the previous verse, he had told of material desire and dissatisfaction. Here he is talking of udveg,
और भय और क्रोध.
spriha, raga, bhaya, and krodha. So dukha is sorrow, spriha is hankering, and rag material attachment, bhaya fear, and krodh is anger. These 7 points they disturb our intelligence, and the root cause of all this is desire only.
कामना कई जब तीव्र हो जाती है तो उसको
When desire is very strong,
थोड़ी कम रहती
then you call it trishna, hankering. When it is less, you may call it spriha, vasana, kamana, rag.
है. एक ही चीजें हैं.
More or less, these are all same only. It's just the difference is in the degree of or the intensity of the desire. Based on the level of intensity, different names are given.
ये भी मन में उद्वेग पैदा करते हैं.
So this sukha dukkha, they also give rise to
हम सभी जानते हैं
udveg or disturbance in the mind. Dukkha, misery, we understand it leads to disturbance in the mind. If somebody has some
पीड़ा हो,
suffering,
पेट में दर्द हो, सिर में दर्द हो,
some kind of physical ailment, some pain, something, some finger getting cut or something happens to the body, then mind keeps going there. Intelligence becomes
और सुख में भी ऐसा ही
unstable.
होता है.
But this happens even in sukha, in happiness also.
में
Just like in misery, mind becomes disturbed. Similarly, mind becomes disturbed in happiness also. Although we feel that mind is getting disturbed only in sorrow,
लेकिन सुख में भी होता है, लेकिन
but it happens in happiness also.
लगता है
But because happiness is favorable to us, that is why we do not observe the disturbance of mind in that state.
कभी कभी
But we must have heard about this sometimes in news that somebody died out of intense happiness.
कोई बहुत बड़ा
It happens sometimes. Somebody heard a news of immense happiness,
गति अवरोध हो जाती है और
then that person dies out of heart attack.
वो सुख में क्यों
So why does that happen? Why does heart stop beating in that situation of immense happiness? But so that happens because happiness also gives rise to immense excitement. But that is pleasing to us. That's why we do not recognize it.
पैर में
And the excitement that is generated by sorrow, that is bitter. So like when you are scratching your skin, that is also a disturbance only, but you feel pleasure in this. But still it is a disturbance.
करी और कंडू ये
So happiness is also like that.
वही है और कुछ नहीं.
This material sense pleasure is nothing but itching. It's a scratching the skin.
वो सुख को हम चाहते हैं,
So we want that happiness. We desire for that because that excitement of out of happiness is favorable or pleasing to our senses, to our mind.
स्पृहा ना करना.
So that's why here it is said, not desiring that type of happiness.
इससे दुख आता है.
Because that happiness only brings sorrow. Just like if you entered this room, there is only one way to enter this room. There is one entrance door. Whether a sadhu enters
साधु आए वो भी तो
or
गेट से घुसेगा ना. अगर कोई चोर आना चाहता
or some other person enters,
गेट से आएगा,
everyone has to enter through this door only.
व्यक्ति आएगा तो वो भी इसी दरवाजे से आएगा.
If some nice sadhu enters, he also enter from here only. So there is only one entrance.
कामना हम किसकी करते हैं? सुख की करते हैं.
So what do we desire? We desire happiness.
दुख आता है.
And from that entrance only, behind happiness, sorrow comes. Because sorrow understands that this person will
वो आदमी
not let me inside. So sorrow comes along with happiness. Like if a sadhu is entering,
आपको पता नहीं है उसके पीछे लगा हुआ है.
but a thief or dacoit is also entering with the sadhu, but you do not recognize that thief. So this misery is like a shadow of happiness. Wherever there is happiness, sorrow is guaranteed.
दुख भी आएगा.
And both enter through the same entrance, through the same door. They come together. That is why Bhagavan is forbidding us from desiring both.
आप वो उद्वेलित नहीं होता है. स्थिर बुद्धि का लक्षण
So the
होता है.
person of stable intelligence obviously does not become disturbed in miserable situation, but that person doesn't even desire happiness. So now this is strange. how can he not desire happiness? Because everyone desires happiness. Why is Bhagavan forbidding us from desiring happiness? That's why should we study Gita? Because in Gita, Bhagavan is forbidding us from desiring for happiness. So Bhagavan is telling that because sorrow comes, misery comes along with happiness only. Both have the same source. If you have happiness from eating chocolate, then the stomach pain also comes from that only. The source of happiness is the same source for misery also. Both of them are born from the same place. So they move together always. So that's why Bhagavan is forbidding us from both. Or rather, you can say that misery wants to come in our life, and we do not want misery to enter our life. So misery comes with a mask of happiness. So misery wears the comes in the garb of happiness. We think that what we are getting is happiness.
तो इस तरह से वो अंदर घुसता है, जैसे ही तो
So in this way it enters.
यात्री की, तो यात्री को कहीं जा रहा था तो रास्ते
Like in Hitopadesh, there is a story that there was a traveler, he was going and they found a lake beside the road, and a cheetah was, he found a cheetah there.
अपने पंजे में उसने एक स्वर्ण का बहुत बड़ा कड़ा,
And the tiger was having a golden bangle with it, and he told the traveler that please take it. So the traveler said that no, you are dangerous, how can he take this from you? So the tiger said that no, I have done lot of sinful activities, I have killed so many people, I have eaten cows also. Now I daily take bath in this sacred water and I give charity, because the sadhu told me that this is how you have to repent for your sins. Every day you should give charity. So you have come here. So fortune, this great fortune for me, I can give charity to you. So the traveler thought that okay, I will get this golden bangle. And when he went to take that, and he was trapped by the cheetah. The cheetah had already prepared trap for that person, just like the fishermen. The fishermen, they trap these people. The fishermen trap the fishes. They keep the bait in the hook. So actually, there is the hook is having like a thorn, but it is having a bait, which is a soft food. So the fish is actually coming for the food, gets attracted by the bait, but then gets caught in the hook, and the hook doesn't leave the fish. So similarly, the person runs after happiness, but
लेकिन वो पंजा चीते का है तो वो उसको पकड़ता है.
so the person goes after happiness, but gets caught in the hook of misery. So that's why Bhagavan is telling here.
और उसके बाद में फिर वो कहते हैं कि वीत राग भय क्रोध.
Then Bhagavan is telling,
तो आप राग भय और क्रोध इन तीन से मुक्त हो जाओ.
so he is telling, be free from this rag, bhaya and krodh, that is attachment, material attachment, fear and anger. So having attachment for something,
जब हमारी किसी चीज में आसक्ति होती है,
and when we have attachment to something,
करना चाहते हैं,
then we want to obtain that,
और उसको अगर हम प्राप्त नहीं कर सकते हैं या
and if we are unable to obtain that and somebody else takes that, or we get a doubt that person will take it away from us, then we become fearful.
में होता है.
So fear is of future.
इसलिए होता ना कि मेरा कुछ अनिष्ट हो जाएगा.
Fear is because
मैं भय पैदा होता
fear is nothing but fear of something, facing something unfavorable. Somebody will steal away my property, my wealth, or cause some harm to my body. So we become fearful because we expect something unfavorable.
है. इच्छाओं में कोई अवरोध डालता है,
And if somebody creates some obstacle in our fulfillment of our material desire, then we become angry. So this fear and anger are the children of material attachment. They are born out of material attachment only. If we do not have attached to anything material, if you are not attached, we will not have any fear or anger. But because have attachment,
ये साथ में ही चलते हैं,
then we remain afraid and become angry. Or they all stay together.
वही परिवार है,
They are nothing but the family of material desire only. All this envy,
सब उसी के
anger, fear, jealousy,
भगवान इसलिए
they are all due to material desire.
है क्रोध
That's why Bhagavan is telling here
जीत गए,
that Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha.
यानी कि ये
That means the person of stable wisdom has surpassed all this.
के पास में राग इत्यादि भूतकाल में थे, अभी
That means in the past he was afflicted with material attachment and other things, but in this stage when he is of having stable wisdom, he is free from all that. So this person is called Sthita Pragya, person of stable wisdom.
इन सब दो श्लोकों में भगवान ने
So in these two verses, Bhagavan has showed this only, that
कामना जो है वो मूल कारण है
desire is the root cause
और कामना जो है वो मन में पैदा होती है
and desire is born in mind,
और कामना के कारण ही
and because of desire
आसक्ति
we
और
become attached
उसको प्राप्त करने
and we get so many, we have hopes of obtaining so many things. If our hopes are fulfilled, then we become greedy, and if they are not fulfilled, then we become angry.
और पूरी हो जाए और उसको कोई छीनना चाहे तो भय हो
And
जाए
if desires are fulfilled and somebody wants to take those objects away from us, we become angry.
करने की इच्छा लोभ और उससे भी ज्यादा हो तो
But if desires are fulfilled,
तो ये
we become
परिवार
more greedy, we become more thirsty for obtaining more and more. So this is the family of material desire. So Bhagavan has explained very nicely how our mind becomes unstable.
पैदा करते
What are those things that
हैं कारण
lead to instability of the mind? Because of this only, person remains busy at the material level
आयुर्वेद की दृष्टि
and at the mental level. And if you check from the Ayurveda point of view, then this attachment, fear and anger, they are connected to Vata, Pitta and Kapha.
जो है वो बढ़ जाता है
When person becomes angry, his Pitta increases. When there is fear, then Vayu increases. And when there is lot of attachment, then Kapha increases.
वास्तव में मानसिक स्तर पर
So actually these three are at the mental level only, this attachment, fear and anger, but they show their effect at the physical level also, the bodily level also. Like when a person becomes angry, then we see we see various expressions on his face.
जो भय होता है तो वो कांपता है
Similarly, when a person is angry, then he starts shivering,
राग से
shaking, and because of attachment there is kapha.
ये इनका असर फिर शरीर पर पड़ता है
So then they show their effect on the body also.
को भी
Mental diseases, they lead to physical ailments also. That's why Bhagavan is telling that we should stay away from them.
से ही
We should be careful of them. Then only you can become a sthitadhi, a sage of stable wisdom.
ये बहुत अच्छा शब्द प्रयोग किया है यहाँ
And then Bhagavan has used a very nice word for this person, that this person then can be called a muni, a sage.
नहीं कहते हैं
So who is a muni? This person is a muni. Why is he called a muni? Because he is mananashil, he is a contemplative person. He always remains awake or aware about these potential problems of material desire, that I got this material desire, then what happened?
नहीं है
Then next time he remains careful, he doesn't hold on to that material desire.
इसका मतलब ये मुनि जो यहाँ बता रहे हैं
So that means here the muni, what Bhagavan is telling, this muni is a sadhak.
जाएंगे तो ये आपका एक स्वभाव ही हो जाएगा फिर
Because if you when you become a sthita, a person of stable in wisdom, then this will become normal for you.
सदा योग में वापस से फिर वो समाधि की स्थिति में जाता है, योग को प्राप्त हो जाता है
Then that person goes into samadhi and achieves the state of yoga.
उसके लिए
He becomes a siddha, but till then he has to keep practicing, he has to keep contemplating,
मुनि कहते
he has to always remain awake to all these potential problems.
हैं। तो आज आज का प्रवचन यहीं समाप्त।
So this person is called a Sthitadhi Muni. We will stop here, and if you have any question, you can ask.
धन्यवाद बाबा जी, बहुत बहुत। लास्ट में जैसे मुनि का मेरा प्रश्न
So question at the end, I was having the question about Muni, but you already clarified.
उसको कहते हैं जो वेद के
So what is Rishi? So answer, Rishi means seer of the Veda mantra, drashta of Veda mantra. He is called Rishi. Like Vishwamitra, he did tapasya and then he became a Rishi. He is the Rishi of Gayatri. He realized the Gayatri mantra. He got sakshatkar of Gayatri mantra. So the Ved mantras, they have their rishis, those people who have got sakshatkar of that. So rishi means to see, is connected with the word see.
राजेश जी पूछते हैं, क्या आप राग और क्रोध के मध्य अंतर बता सकते हैं?
क्रोध का मतलब होता है,
What is the difference between raga and krodha? Krodh means one who puts obstacle in your raga or obstacle in your material attachment. If you are doing something to fulfill your material desire and somebody places obstacle in that, then you become angry. So it's a simple thing, like you are going on the road and somebody comes and stops you on the way. Because then naturally you will become angry because you want to go somewhere but you face obstacle. If you are eating and somebody takes your plate away in front of you, then naturally you will feel angry. So anger arises when there is obstacle in fulfillment of material desire.
क्या आप मुनिशिला का
Next question, can you please again explain what it means Munishil? So answer, I never said anything Munishil. There is no word Munishil.
मुनि जी का प्रश्न है कि
नहीं, मुनिशील आया कहाँ पर है?
Where do you see Munishil?
धीर मुनि रुच्यते।
Here it is said Sthita Dhir Muni Ruchyate. Where is Munishil? There is no word Munishil that I said.
भगवती दीदी का प्रश्न है कि
Next question,
हमारे जो अंदर है
how do emotions manifest in a stable mind?
प्रकट तो इसी प्रकार से ही होते हैं, प्रक्रिया
So
जो है,
answer, they arise in the same way, whether a person is a materialist or a spiritualist.
तो जो इमोशंस जो
Emotions,
मन में आते हैं उनकी,
how they come in the mind, the process is same only.
तो आप ऐसा समझ सकते हैं कि तीन,
So you can understand it in this way, that there are three types of people. One is a materialist who is full of material desires. One is a jnani, one who has no material desires. He has renounced everything. They are the people about whom Bhagavan is talking here. And then there are bhaktas.
परक कामना,
So bhaktas have desires related to bhakti.
जिसमें भी कामना होगी, चाहे वो
So
परक हो,
whatever desires you will have, whether it is material or related to bhakti or whatever, the process is same only.
तो उनको भी इस प्रकार से
If you place obstacle in fulfillment of their spiritual desires, then they also may become angry, but that will also be spiritual only. It will not lead to bondage,
नहीं है अपने
because those desires were not material. Those desires were for the seva of Bhagavan. If one is really a bhakta.
उसकी बात अलग होती है कि
Another, if somebody
टोगा पहनते हैं लोग,
if somebody is simply wearing the dress of a spiritualist, of a sadhu,
सांसारिक वासनाओं
and in reality is fulfilling material desires by taking advantage of spirituality. So we are not talking here about those type of people. We are talking of the real sadhus, the real bhaktas, the real mahatmas. So they also have emotions,
वो भगवत संबंधी,
but they are all related to Bhagavan.
सबका वर्णन रस शास्त्र में आता है ना,
In Rasa Shastra, all these are described,
वहाँ तो नाम
these emotions.
राग अनुराग,
That's why their names are given Rag, Anurag, Pranaya, Sneha, all these
उनका विषय
vocabulary is used there. But they are all related to Bhagavan.
प्रश्न है, क्या किसी व्यक्ति को अपने गुरु का गुरु को की पहचान करने के लिए उसका सतोगुण में होना आवश्यक है?
Question: Does a person have to be in the mode of goodness in order to recognize their guru? So answer: real knowledge comes from sattva gun only.
वैसा समझना ये सत्व गुण का धर्म है और उसको
So understanding something as it is the quality of sattva gun, and understanding something different, that is tamo gun. So yes, sattva gun is needed.
मोहिनी जी कहती हैं कि मुनिशिला अपने इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में
So
बताया
next
है
question, you spoke of munishil in the context of muni sthita dhir muni uchyate.
स्थित
So answer: I never said munishil. How did you hear munishil? I said mananshil, not munishil. There is no word munishil. What I said was mananshil, not munishil. That's what I was wondering. What is this munishil that you are telling continuously? Mananshil means one who has the habit of doing manana, means contemplation. That is mananshil.
पीयूष जी कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछिए।
आपने बताया दुख से
So
सुख
next
वो
question.
सत्वगुण है, दुख से दुख वो तमोगुण है, तो सुख से सुख वो निर्गुण है क्या? यही आप कथन
You were talking of
हाँ जी
dukha and dukha in action result.
संदीप जी कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछिए।
धन्यवाद, प्रणाम बाबूजी महाराज। यदि एक पूर्व पक्ष रखा जाए कि
So next question, if we place a purva paksha that prajahati sarvan kaman, Bhagavan is telling this of for Brahman realization, then from Vaishnava Siddhanta, how can we explain this verse?
पहले आप अपना पक्ष
So next question, where is Bhagavan? How do you say that Bhagavan is speaking this verse for Brahman realization? How, first you have to prove it.
वो
So
परित्याग कर देंगे,
because when you have to give away all the material desires,
मतलब फिर उस समय आप जैसे ब्रह्मन रियलाइजेशन वाली स्टेटस में आ जाएंगे।
then you will come to the state of Brahman realization. So that's what I am asking, that how will you come to the state of Brahman realization? Because in Bhakti also Anya Vilashita Shunyam is said. So then that person will also come to the state of Brahman realization or what? I already said that what this verse means, giving away material desires.
अच्छा, तो उसको ये कह सकते हैं कि आपकी जो कामना है ब्रह्म ज्ञान की कामना है, तो वो भी एक कामना ही है, उसका थोड़ी ना त्याग कर रहे हो।
पहले आप ये सिद्ध करो मेरे को कि कैसे ब्रह्म ज्ञान कहाँ आ गया यार।
So first of all, you should prove to me how do you get Brahma Gyan from this verse.
मैं जैसे ब्रह्मन रियलाइजेशन वाली स्टेट को समझते हुए मेरे को ऐसे लगा कि इसमें ऐसे एक पूर्व पक्ष रखा जा सकता है, बट आई थिंक
तो रखने के लिए आपको सिद्ध तो करना पड़ेगा, थोड़ी कि बोल दिया और पूर्व पक्ष हो गया वो।
So you just cannot say that whatever you say is proven. You have to actually prove it. You have to state the cause. Purva Paksha does not mean saying anything, and that is not called Purva Paksha. Purva Paksha is called Purva Paksha when you prove it.
पहले हेतु दीजिए आप।
Simply making a statement is not called Purva Paksha.
ठीक है, मेरे ख्याल से मेरा गलत प्रश्न है उनका।
नवदीप जी पूछते हैं, यदि मुझे नया घर, गाड़ी या फिर
Next question. If I am desirous of a new house, car, or job, to give an example, does that mean I should give this up and just be contented with whatever is coming on its own accord? Does this mean a kama? So answer now, you please tell me that you have Arjun, if he gives up all desires, why will he fight? He is standing there to fight and Bhagavan is telling you fight. So when for understanding any subject, you should understand the whole context, the whole background. If you just take one line or a verse, then we get wrong understanding. So Bhagavan will say that Vitarag, he is talking about giving up attachment. He has told earlier also.
ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापम वाप्स्यसि, कहा ना उन्होंने योगस्थ कुर कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा धनंजय, उन्होंने कहा ना संगम
He
त्यक्त्वा,
said that give up sangha. Sangha means attachment.
आसक्ति को त्याग करके आप योग में स्थित होइए,
That give up the attachment, that material attachment and be situated in yoga.
तो इस बात को मनन करना है और इसको ध्यान में रखना है।
So we have to contemplate on this.
जीवन नहीं चलेगा, मैंने स्वयं पहले ही उदाहरण दिया कि मेरे को भूख,
Otherwise, how can we continue our life?
मैं उसकी कामना करूं भोजन,
I already told that now if I am hungry, I should desire for food or no?
भूख की जो कामना है वो तो मन में ही आती है ना,
Because the desire for satisfying the hunger for eating also arises in mind only. So if I do not fulfill that desire, I will die out of hunger.
उनमें जो आसक्ति
So what Bhagavan means here is
रहे मानो,
not just giving up the desire, but giving up the attachment.
तो अब मेरे को
So
अपनी पसंद
just say for example, like if you have desire for food, now if you say that your desire will be fulfilled only when you get the food that you like,
बड़ी समस्या रहती है ना,
so then this is attachment. In ashram we have this big problem. People complain daily same, you are giving same food, any vegetable always same taste.
तो ये सब झेलना पड़ता है ना,
I have to tolerate all these complaints regularly.
तो उसमें भी तो मतलब मेरा जो पसंद है वो मिले तो सुख, ना मिले तो दुख, तो इसके लिए
So if you say that if I get food that I like, it's according to my taste, then I am happy, otherwise I am miserable. So Bhagavan is not telling you give up desire for food, give up the attachment,
शरीर पुष्ट रहे,
because food is meant for nourishment,
मुख्य चीज हो
for
जाती है,
giving energy. But then nourishment takes secondary position and taste becomes the primary thing.
होता है उसमें रहता है,
So then you have attachment to taste, and what is not according to your taste, then if you get that,
हमको रहना
you become disturbed.
चाहिए,
So if you have to live here, then you need a home also. For home you need money also. For money you need a job also.
लेकिन अगर उसी में आसक्ति हो जाए कि मेरे
But if you remain attached to that only that I should get house of this type only, vehicle of this type only, and if I don't get that, become miserable.
बहुत इच्छा होती है कि मेरे को ये विशेष तौर का
Because for some time you become happy when you get a vehicle which you like. For some time,
आप सुखी
for few weeks, for few days or for few weeks, you feel happiness seeing that. But then that becomes normal for you. You do not feel anything special about it.
कहानी है ये,
So this is the story about Sukha and Dukkha. That when you become habituated to Sukha, then that only becomes Dukkha.
प्रिय भोजन है,
Like if you have a favorite food, there's a story of a king.
के लिए अपने रात्रि भोजन पर बैठा,
Because the king was sitting for dinner,
खानसामा, तो उसने बनाया तो एक
so the cook he prepared a vegetable, and the king liked that vegetable very much. He called for the cook and he thanked him, he praised him. So the cook thought, oh, the king liked it very much, so again he cooked that, again king liked it. Third day again the cook prepared that, then fourth day again he prepared that. So then king called that person and criticized, don't you have anything else to cook? Every day you are cooking the same vegetable.
उसने कहा महाराज आपने ही तो कहा था
So the cook said that, oh king, you only said that this is your favorite, like cooking the same thing every day.
तो मनपसंद भी आपको रोज रोज मिलेगा,
So if you get your favorite item also daily, then
वो फिर आपका मनपसंद नहीं रहेगा।
it will not remain favorite anymore.
जब भूख लगी और आपका प्रिय भोजन वो पहले कौर में आता है उतना दूसरे में नहीं आता, फिर वो घटता
First time when you eat your favorite dish, the level of happiness you get, you do not get it the second time.
आप उसको मिले,
Like if you have a person who is very dear to you,
5 मिनट हो गए,
you meet him and you embrace that person. Now that person is not leaving you only, he is holding on to you. Then you will become frustrated or no? Why is it not leaving me?
आधा मिनट तो चलता है,
10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds is okay, but till 5 minutes if he is continuing to embrace you, no matter how much that person is dear to you, will you not become frustrated?
कहाँ तक आपको प्रियता रहेगी। ये एक वास्तविक कहानी है कि जब दिल्ली में मुगल
This is a real story. When the Mughal king was there in Delhi, so he had the commander,
स्त्री थी,
and
पहले जो वारस स्त्री होती हैं जिनको आजकल हम प्रोस्टिट्यूट कहते हैं, उनको वारस स्त्री
so now there are prostitutes. So earlier they were called Varastri. So the king also used to visit the prostitute,
के बादशाह जाता तो
and if the king was going, then
उसकी तो बड़ी बेइज्जती है कैसे, तो उसको पता लगा कि सेनापति भी जाता है,
so he came to know that even the commander is also going. So the king became very angry.
हमारी तो कोई इज्जत नहीं है, तो उसने अपने जो सलाहकार थे उनसे पूछा कि भाई
So he
इसको क्या
called
दंड दिया
for the council of ministers and he asked them what punishment should be given to this commander.
जाए। उनको अच्छी तरह जानता था,
So one minister was a psychiatrist. He was expert in psychology.
फांसी पर चढ़ा
So he said,
से निकाल रहे
so generally the kings give the order that
बढ़िया उपाय क्या है,
exile him from the kingdom.
और फेस टू फेस दोनों के आमने सामने करके रस्सी से बांध दो 24 घंटे के लिए।
So the minister suggested that make them naked and tie them together for 24 hours with their faces towards each other. So the king said that they will become very happy. So minister said that no, try it. So the king knew that minister was very intelligent. So the king made them naked and he tied them together facing each other. Now 24 hours they are lying, standing or whatever, passing urines to whatever, breathing, exhaling. So 24 hours they they become so much hateful of each other that when they were released, they ran in the opposite directions. So what is most dear to you, if you get that, after some time, you will become frustrated with that also. So this is the story of happiness.
ऐसे ही दुख है,
So misery is also like this.
दुख कोई होता है कुछ समय बाद उसको आपकी
When you get misery, when you continuously face misery, after some time you become habituated to that. Then you do not even bother about that.
दूसरे लोगों को ऐसा लगता है क्या जैसे
Other people think that, oh, he is so much in trouble. Like there are some people who have Divyang, they are handicapped. So other people feel very bad. But this person, he slowly becomes accustomed to that. He becomes habituated.
तो हो जाता है, लोगों के इस प्रकार से एक्सीडेंट होते हैं, कुछ उसका हाथ
People encounter accidents, somebody's hand breaks, leg breaks. So then after some period of time, he becomes habituated to that. It doesn't feel so miserable. It becomes normal.
दुख की आदत होने से भी दुख घट जाता है।
So when you become accustomed to misery, then misery reduces. So that when the person starts drinking wine, then in the first time he doesn't feel so much pleasure. But when he becomes habituated to that slowly, then the misery turns into happiness
हम भी पीते हैं,
because he has that ego that I am also drinking.
हम शराब पीते
You are drinking milk, I am drinking wine.
हैं, ऐसे कहते हैं, कहते तू क्या बच्चा तो दूध पीता है। तो जो शराब पीता है उसकी भी अपनी एक अकड़ होती है ना, तो उस अकड़ के कारण वो पीता रहता है, फिर उसकी ऐसी आदत हो
Because one who drinks wine, he also has his ego. So now he cannot live without drinking wine.
अब ये धुआं अंदर ले जाना, इसमें क्या सुख है?
So like smoking, what is the pleasure in smoking?
में ले जाना, इसमें भी कोई
Hot smoke, consuming, taking that in the lungs. What pleasure is there in that? But those who smoke, ask them how much pleasure they feel.
तो ये दुख और सुख की
So are they getting that pleasure from the beginning? No. So this is the story. Because both happiness and misery are two sides of the same coin only, there is no difference in them. Happiness and sorrow, sorrow and happiness. So that's why Bhagavan says that forget about all this nonsense and take yourself to the higher level. To get Sakshatkar of Bhagavan. Be satisfied in Sakshatkar of Bhagavan. Then your intelligence will become stable.
अब क्या है?
जी राधे राधे महाराज जी, धन्यवाद क्लास के लिए। महाराज जी मेरा एक क्वेश्चन तो दूसरे अध्याय के शुरू वाले श्लोकों में से था जहाँ बताया गया था कि हम
So my question is from the initial verses of second chapter where it was explained that we are Atma. So my doubt is that if I am Atma and I get hurt in the body, then why do I feel that pain?
उससे हमारा अभी संबंध बना हुआ है ना, जैसे आप
So answer, we feel the pain because our body is currently related to the Atma. Just like if you have the car, if somebody hits your car, you feel the pain or no? Because your car got hit, you did not get hit. So why do you feel the pain? Because we have immersed our mind
के साथ तो हम पैदा ही,
in that object.
तो आत्मा और शरीर
But what to speak of car? If you speak of the body, we are born with the body. This relation is from birth itself.
हमको होती है,
So we are so deeply connected with that, we feel the pain.
को अनुभव
So feeling the pain is one thing,
पाए पाए वो अलग चीज है।
but if becoming disturbed by that pain, that is another thing. So the sensation of pain will happen even to a sthita pragya, if the person of steady wisdom, because he has not died, he is still living, he is sitting. If his eyes are open, he will also see what you are seeing.
वेदना खत्म थोड़ी हो गई है,
So he has not become a stone, he also has feelings, but he will not become disturbed by that.
भगवान के शब्द
That's why Bhagavan said anudvigna mana, that in dukkha his mind does not become disturbed.
भी आता है,
So that proves that he also encounters dukkha, he also encounters misery. If he would not have dukkha only, then what Bhagavan is speaking will not make any sense only.
उसके ऊपर दुख नहीं आता,
So it is not that the sthita pragya person does not get dukkha.
वो उद्वेलित नहीं,
He will also get dukkha, but he will not become disturbed by them. He will not become agitated by that dukkha. That is called sthita pragya.
जी जी एक प्रश्न मेरा और था महाराज जी, जो एक इंसान के ऊपर भगवत कृपा जो होती है वो किस
The next question, when a person gets kripa or mercy of Bhagavan, what are the different types of mercy or kripa that Bhagavan can give? So this depends on you, what is kripa for you. People have different definitions of kripa or mercy. What is kripa according to you? In the path of bhakti, kripa means our intelligence should be fixed up in Bhagavan.
तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्तम यथा प्रभु न धनम न जनम न सुंदरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामे मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्ति रहित की त्वयि। तो हम तो केवल इसी को ही कृपा मानते हैं।
So for us, only this is kripa. But people of this world, for some person, getting money may be kripa, getting wife may be kripa. So they have different understandings of mercy. It depends on you. What is mercy for you?
संदीप जी का प्रश्न,
जी जैसे एक मिनट, जैसे महाराज जी जैसे शास्त्रों में गजेंद्र मोक्ष को
So next question, like in Shastra, Gajendra Moksha is explained as kripa.
और भी तरह से मतलब, तो दो प्रकार के भक्त होते हैं, एक सकाम भक्त होते हैं, एक निष्काम भक्त होते हैं।
So bhaktas are of two types, those who have material desire and those who do not have material desire. So Sakam bhaktas are those like Dhruva who still have material desire. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he wanted a kingdom bigger than that of his father. This was kripa for him and he got it also.
और दूसरे निष्काम भक्त होते हैं,
And others are Nishkam bhaktas, like the verse that Mahaprabhu is telling.
आवश्यकता नहीं, केवल भक्ति।
It doesn't want anything material, he just wants bhakti. So actually kripa is of two types only, mainly. One is of material objects and other is bhakti.
निष्काम भक्त हैं वो भौतिक,
Those who are Nishkam bhaktas, they do not consider these material objects as kripa. But for an ordinary person, that itself may be kripa. People go to temple for getting this kripa only. Why there is so much of crowd in the sabhas of sadhus? Because people go there expecting that sadhu will relieve me from my disease or poverty or relation problems. People ask for various types of kripa.
अच्छा, इसमें एक चीज क्षमा करना, गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता बीज, तो ये सर्वश्रेष्ठ।
So next question,
गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता बीज,
when it is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that we get the bij, the seed of bhakti from Guru, Is it the highest kripa? So answer yes, that's what I'm saying, because this is the only kripa, because everything else is temporary. You get them and still they will get destroyed one day. All material objects are temporary, whether it is wealth or your relatives or your prestige, all that is temporary.
सो ध्रुवाणी परित्यज्य ही ध्रुवाणी न सेवते। जो ध्रुव नित्य वस्तु को छोड़ के अनित्य वस्तु का सेवन करता है, उसको चाहता है।
So one who gives up
ध्रुव को तो उसने छोड़ दिया।
the eternal for the temporary loses from both sides, because temporary will anyway go away and he voluntarily discarded the eternal.
वो कृपा क्या हुई?
So how could you call it kripa? So real kripa is
भक्ति की प्रार्थना
that you pray for bhakti to Bhagavan.
स्थायी है ना वो।
That is permanent, that is stable.
संदीप जी का प्रश्न है कि चित्त वृत्त निरोधा और प्रजाति सर्वान कामान में क्या अंतर है?
कोई अंतर नहीं।
What is the difference between chitta vritti nirodha and prajahati sarvan kaman? So answer, there is no difference. We'll recite the prayer verses.
सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपाल नंदनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मंत्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयः स्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रये भवे भवे यथा भक्तिः पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपाप प्रणाशनम् प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परम् हरि ओम तत्सत्।